here. Hi, all. I am Nina Roberti. I am an animal communicator, intuitive Reiki master energy healer. This is Bailey, who is my co-partner walking in life on this path. And I am chatting today with my dear friend, mentor, amazing light soul being, who is just phenomenal, Kathie Chandler. So we will have her introduce herself.
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm honored to be here to speak with you today. My name is Kathie Chandler. I'm an intuitive, have been my whole life, but only started sharing it maybe the last 30 years of my life. I'm a medical intuitive. I'm an animal intuitive. I'm an energy worker. I'm a lecturer. I'm a teacher, a Reiki master. You know, you keep adding to the bucket.
And the list goes on.
And I'm excited to be here. Spirit has been telling us it's time to start this. Maybe we're a little behind, so we're going to get caught up on it, about the energy coming and how it's easier to go into that energy, about communicating with your animals, about making grids. There's many subjects that we're going to address together, and I'm just honored to be here. And thank you so much, Nina, for inviting me to do this with you.
Oh, I am honored and so excited to be here because I think that there's so much information that we're guided to bring out to the world, and what a wonderful person to be sharing it with and bringing it to the forefront. So yes. So should we just like maybe start a discussion of how, let's say that we sage or clearing energy. Like I know that right before we got on, I was clearing my whole house and clearing the energy. And I use, like, as we were speaking earlier, I use sometimes Palo Santo. I am using like these charcoal tablets with the kapow in it, which just seems like it's much a stronger ancient saging. And that's just like with the smoke to clear the energy, right? Yes, Kathie has some. And as I was clearing my whole house, all the smoke alarms went off. I burnt my fingers, had to use some lavender oils to put it on. It was just quite entertaining as to different ways. But then I was like, oh, well, these are different information and, examples of what we can bring forth in our chat and our video that we're putting out today.
Indeed. So, and if I could just interject that burning of your finger and the fans, oftentimes when you're about to do something that's valuable, that's important, that spirit wants you to do, I don't like to give names and titles. I just say opposition. Sometimes I call the opposition the moth because we're the bright light and they're attracted to suck our energy. So the opposition was trying to do anything they could to keep this from happening today, which excites me because that tells me that we're going to be able to be of service to others. And that's why we're here.
Yes. And that was like when I was trying to email you the Zoom link. Just kept saying that it was undeliverable and message was not recognized, which it was your email address. So that's another example. I was like, someone doesn't want us coming together to talk about things like this of the light. So it's very interesting. So what are the ways that you sage? Like, I know you probably do very similar things.
Yeah, I do sage. My dear friend Brandy Tuttle has educated me hugely in the true ways of our native Indians. Yes. And I have it in me, but I was raised being told I didn't, which, it's so silly. So I have sage that's harvested, roll it in a ball, and I'll put it, and I've been blessed enough. My friend is a geologist. He won't ever take us to where he goes, but he gets these different rocks that have holes in that in it. So I like to use rocks, sometimes seashells, and I'll put it in there and get it lit. One of the things I used to do that I found out really wasn't the right thing to do is to blow on it. That is disrespectful. So I have a feather fan and I fan it to keep it going. I go through the house and I make it simple unless I'm like clearing somebody's house of something dark. I keep my house pretty clear, but I just go through the whole house and ask all that is not of light must leave with this smoke at this time. I command to only bring in light. I always start with a blank board. So my energy now that I'm in now goes into it. I go through the house. I usually open a window or something and offer it an exit. And then I like the copa. I use that right near me because it's such a connection to your higher self. And even though I am, there's always a higher to go. And the Palo Santo is good for clearing energy and that. And I'm just addicted to the smell of it, to be quite honest. One of the things I like to say to people that they may not know, because I didn't, is never burn just sage grass. Sage grass invites in anything, and it smells
Mm,
glorious too. You burn sage as well to filter out that which is not of light coming in. So
correct.
yeah, I
Yes.
go through my house doing this and just repeating the same thing. All that is not of light, I ask to leave at this time. All energies that are not in my harmony to leave at this time. I have a
Yeah.
co-partner too, but I couldn't get her out of her bed, so maybe she'll come. Usually it's my
And that is
cat.
a four-legged fur baby.
Right, fur baby. Yes, yeah. The other one's long gone, off to work. My kitty cat, she might come around. She's sleeping also. She's rather nocturnal. But
Oh yeah. Yeah,
so
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
I do those things, and then I kind of set up a grid. I'm very much into grids. I've only been into grids for maybe 5 or 6 years, but spirit just constantly. I have like visions. That's how it comes for me. Sometimes in dreams of how to do it and what to do, and I've just found that they've been so powerful. So I have a little grid around the computer. I have
Mhm.
selenite right up here on the top of it because that absorbs all energies, and I call it my lazy stone because you don't have to clean it; it cleans itself. So I'll set it by other stones to help clean them too. Just
Yeah.
so many. You never seem to have enough. But
No, you don't, right?
no, you
Yes.
don't. So it's a good way to even start your morning.
Mhm.
It has been scientifically proven that sage clears bacteria and purifies the air. Even though there is smoke there, it evaporates very quickly if you notice, and it clears the air. In our world, we know that it can clear out negative energies, raise our energy and our spirit. Just the smell of it, I just immediately, oh, it's just, so refreshing and a smile on my face. So for me, it's a daily habit, just like brushing your teeth or something else. And it keeps me balanced. If there's a day, one time I went out of town and forgot to bring I have a little bitty suitcase that has all my goodies in it. And I was so out of balance and I didn't want to just go buy a sage stick. I ended up
Mhm.
doing, then I just tore it apart and I couldn't really roll it in a bowl, but I piled it in this little seashell that I also had to buy and lit it just to clear myself. That was a funny one because I did it in the hotel room and forgot to open the window. So I also set off a smoke alarm that disturbed a whole lot of people. And so I guess they all just need to get up and move around a little bit. It's the only thing
Right.
I could figure.
That's
A
what
little tingling
exactly.
going in their bodies at the time, indeed.
I
Yes,
agree. Yes. I think everyone needs to be saged, you know? Yes. And I try to do it every morning and even in the evenings before going to bed,
exactly.
especially just around my head and the crown chakra, just because of all the stuff that we're taking on during the day. So it's easy
I
to do that.
I give it an intent for myself. I bring it on my crown chakra, my third eye, my shoulders, my arms. I kind of wipe
Mhm.
myself down with the smoke in a sense. And then I visualize it down the back if I'm alone and the bottoms of my feet.
Yes, yes, which is very important. Yeah, and I think it is all our intention because at times I know that like as you're saying when you don't have the sage or whatever it is, the actual tool to create the smoke or whatever it is that we're clearing, I sometimes visualize, it's the intention of using a white light. So a white light of like blowing into the room just to clear all the
Exactly.
space. And actually, yes, and just, and sometimes I go into the divine creator and just command it to leave of anything that's not of my highest and best light to leave. And right, as you're saying, to go open the front door, the back door, the windows, and to go out that way,
I won't forget
So,
that again. Another thing, you can't really do it wrong. Well,
no.
say you think you can, like don't blow on it, it's reverent, it's respectful. So you need to be
Hmm.
respectful. Like for me, it's like church, I guess is a good way to put it. But whatever your words are, as long as they're of higher energy, whether you want to blow. I mean, I love using white light. I also use a violet flame a lot because you use that,
Hmm.
but I also connect it to Mother Mary. And so drawing in that beautiful, nurturing, loving, compassionate energy is wonderful. But don't be afraid to try, is what I'm trying to say. Don't be afraid to do. Get rid of the word try. If you're doing it with a spiritual heart, with good intents, that's all that really matters because intention is 99.999% of everything. You
Right.
know,
Correct. Yes.
intention and intention allows you to believe because you're intending for it, so you believe it's going to happen. And that's all that really matters is your belief in yourself. People don't realize what magnificent, incredible beings they are. And on this planet, you're a creator. Every thought you have is laying a stone in your path.
Hmm.
Planet of illusions. What do you allow yourself to believe in? That's why we all see things so differently.
Right.
What your brain allow your mind to know that your eyes see everything, like how I see beyond the veil. Everybody can, but the brain says, no, this isn't in our belief system. You have to open that door, command it to open. And even if you're pretending in the beginning that you're believing, and pretend in the beginning, it at least can draw something in.
Well, I know, like I see a lot of things also, and then I'll take a picture, and so the camera is extension of what I can see.
Right.
And some of it is not the best sometimes because it's like you can see what is actually out there, which needs to be cleared and kind of sent back to the light or where they came from. But it is amazing though, because people are like, how do you see that? And it's, yes, it is training of your eye and where we are in our evolution, our ascension as to what it is that we are able to see. And it's very fascinating.
It really is. It really is. When people open up to allowing, the problem is our world has got us, everybody's looking at a computer, an iPad, a playing a
We're
game,
not in nature.
where we're put ourselves in this little orb of of not being aware. The aware,
Right.
if people were to take the time to be in nature, no matter
Mhm.
what, like hug a tree, feel the ground, think about it, give gratitude, you get a walk on this earth. If you were just to take time to sit every day and say, I'm here, what do you have to tell me? And those first thoughts that come in, that's them. If you argue
Yes.
with them, they arguing you. To take time to meditate, if you can
Mhm.
meditate, if you're someone that can do that, taking time to read something positive or to listen to a high frequency podcast. Or I love healing sound frequencies, healing sound
Mhm.
DNA clearing. That's a good one. You know,
Yeah.
business, toothache, if that's what you have. There's
Yeah.
many, many ways to keep your energy higher, which is going to be a lot easier. I'd like to address that. We are coming into something that's being prepared for over 2,000 years. Everybody that's on this planet right now, whether you know it or not, everything you've been through is for right now, right now.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
April is an intense month, and I'd like to not use the word intense, but they are, so I am an intense month. And there's going to be a world change. Many people are saying World War III. If you say that, you're giving energy to make that happen. I'm saying enlightenment. It's not going to be comfortable because we're not where we should be, but it's going to be doable. So right now is the time to just love everybody, forgive everybody, get your health in order, get your body ready, and just be prepared. And I keep asking my guides, what's, is it good or bad? And they go, it's up to humans. Oh, okay. So,
I mean, we're all on our own journey. So it really is
right.
kind of an individual journey for that person as to where it is that they want to be in this world.
And I
And,
know yeah, and I'm sorry, that's the beginning of it that will take it into September. And September, I guess, will be another big one. So right now is the time to just do whatever it is that makes you feel more balanced. I have to say right now, I'm a little obsessed with Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's a great teacher, a great talker. So just, even though I know a lot of things he says, it's so nice to hear somebody else say it.
yes. Yeah.
So anything like that, Gaia is a wonderful thing to have. It has all these
Mhm.
wonderful spiritual things that are also highly educational on there and very advanced. And so anything that anyone can do out there to raise their frequency, which also raises their frequency into something we were going into, is to be able to communicate with animals and
Yes.
actually plants or
Plants, stones, trees. I mean,
stones. Yeah,
all kinds of things, right? I mean, and just in your own, like your higher self and spirit, and just the all different realms that we are not able to see, like seeing beyond the veil.
indeed.
Yes. I mean, I know Bailey and I, we get into nature all the time. And that's one of my big, big things of getting into nature. Whoops, the sun is shining. You are being lit up.
I'm being lit up. I'm like, I'm trying to adjust it. Here I am lit up. We're going to
You
take it
look
in.
good. Yes, you're lit up. Yes.
Well,
But it is amazing though, the difference when you get into nature. I mean, that's like a walking meditation, right? So
it
if you can
absolutely.
just get into nature and just take some deep breaths and just feel the sun on your face, and smell the flowers or just the fresh cut grass or just whatever it is, get all the senses going. You have like a walking meditation and you're able to like release all of those things that are keeping us down in this 3D world and to raise ourselves up, and when you have a clearer mind, it's amazing how you can move so much positive in a direction forward in this world, and it's just like, like I know Bailey and I, we go to the Arboretum a lot, which is a lot cooler in the summer because it's getting kind of warm here. I know that Kathy's in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So
4 feet of
y'all been
4 feet of snow, 4 feet of snow in my yard. I'm not in town. I'm up in the hills, and yeah, when you said grass and flowers, I'm like, oh.
which I miss the snow because we haven't gotten any snow. So, it is what it is. But it is amazing though, because I know when we were walking, all of a sudden it's amazing how you can walk the same place and your clarity just changes and you can see things so much clearer. And it was like, you could feel like possibly the fairies were out, or, it was amazing the difference in frequency of being out when you are much clearer and what it is that you're able to see and feel and manifest, yes.
That's true. That's absolutely right. Nature is really medicine for us. And whatever
Yes.
nature is to you, like for me, it's the river. I'm in the mountains. So the woods, it might be for someone else, just a beautiful park in the city or the ocean or a lake. Water is very grounding for me. So I usually pick something that has me more in the water. I'm twisting myself. Here I am. Sorry. It's being barefoot is good. I don't walk barefoot outside anymore because there's just a parasitic world in that. But I at least get myself barefoot to ground myself. And this might sound odd to all of you, but if you have the opportunity or live somewhere you can, one of the greatest ways to be grounded if you're not is to urinate outside, because it's a golden rod from your root chakra to Mother Earth. It's a connection to them.
Interesting. You're gonna have now everyone peeing outside.
I live in the woods, but hey, why not? If you got a rose bush or something, just
Which you did as a kid.
We did as a kid, and we were more grounded as children, if you think about it.
We were more grounded as
But there are other ways if you're in the city or you don't want to. I don't want to be blamed for somebody doing public urination or anything. So, it's a very private, sacred thing that you're doing. You do it in a sacred manner,
Right.
So it's all your intent. Whatever your intent is will guide whatever you're doing.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And it is all of our intention, and it's our intention and an open heart. So as long as you have a loving, open heart, you're radiating that frequency out. So, someone can feel that. It's kind of like, I'm so connected to Bailey because, we are living with an open heart and intuitive, and that's a whole different realm. But, it's the same thing as you're connected to your animals and your loved ones. And, we're living with an open heart and it's raising our frequencies, and you can feel that, yes. It's just being in the presence of someone.
When many people call someone like you or I to find their pet or to find out about their pet or communicate with it, and we'd love to hear how that's done, I'm sure, is that many people don't understand they can do this themselves. But I have to bring up something that's interesting to me. Because I'm an empathist, and I'm pretty good at keeping it in the closet, but when it comes to animals, it's a little harder for me because I start feeling what the guardian is feeling, how devastated they are in that. And then I can't let myself, but occasionally, because I'm human, make the mistake of thinking how I would feel like that. And I realize that I'm having a harder time finding certain animals. And so I go through my list. Is it east? Is it west? And I hear them. If you don't hear them, then you could douse. Learn how to douse. Join the society. And when you get a dowser, in my opinion, it shouldn't be a gift. They pick you. I walked into a store and rose quartz isn't really the best, either copper or regular quartz. And I went to this dowser and I said, "Do you belong to me?" And it just started moving like crazy. I said, "Well, then show me what no is." And here goes the circle. You see, so
Yeah.
the one thing about dowsing is you cannot have what you think the answer is or an opinion in your mind at all because you can control it. So I thought, okay, well, I'll do a little dowsing with it. 2 mornings in a row, I woke up and I heard buy dowsing rods. And I'm like, why do I need those? I'm psychic, Wow, that was a little bit of an ego, wasn't it? Which I really don't think I have. My stepfather was a very known dowser in Minnesota. He could find water for people's wells and always drill there and they'd always get it. He did it with sticks.
All right.
So after the third time of getting hit, I went, all right. I went on Amazon. I found copper. You want copper dowsers. And they arrived with a copper dowsing that I'm only using with that. And I thought, now what do I do? What do I do? So I actually joined the Dowsing Society, and they have these wonderful people that come on every week. And I saw the first one, and I'm sorry, her name has gone blank at the moment, but she's the one that did the Kathie Lacey case in Florida and found a baby that the mother had hidden. And she does, so she's more of a detective. She works with serial killers and things like that. But there was a few things I got from her, which was that dowsing is better for me to ask questions about dogs because of my emotions. I might be blocking hearing clearly because I'm thinking what I want to hear. With the dowsers, I just tell them to show me and they'll just start moving and go directions, or and I usually face north. And what this woman, Maureen, taught me was you always say, show me, show me, show me 3 times. And it was just amazing. So it was just something, I thought it was just something they were doing to entertain me. But now I realize that when I'm getting too emotionally involved, this is something that I'm going to bring in to use as a tool myself in my business because of the emotions that I'm still working on not allowing in.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of dowsing. Raymond Grace is a guy that he's actually part of the dowsing community that I know that he's and
I think he's the head of it, isn't he? Or he was on
he's located in Virginia. But he has like been on a lot of the Arizona dowsing communities and all that. And he's a dear friend of mine, and he's very entertaining. But yeah, it's amazing because and I do a lot of dowsing because I clear energy like on the physical, the emotional, and spiritual realm for the animals and for people. But you know, it is interesting, and do muscle testing as well, because that's also a way to get out of your brain, you know, so you do that as well. But it is interesting though, because a lot of times, you know, when like for missing animals, I'll be like, does the animal want to be found? Because, you know, they're on their own journey as well. So it's kind of like you have the human who's on their journey, and that energy, especially for animals like that have gone missing, you know, you have their energy. And I know for a few people that I've had as clients, it's like, okay, they need to calm their energy and get really, really centered and keep their heart open. And like showing that cord that's connected to their animal's heart, you know, because the animal also is on their own journey, and maybe they don't want to come, because sometimes the human, like as us humans, we got all in our brains and get a little wacky that, you know, we need a timeout. So it's kind of like, well, of course they kind of flew the coop, you know, but it's kind of like, well, does the animal want to be found, you know, as well? So it is an interesting, I mean, it is interesting, and it's a great tool, a modality to use, because sometimes we do get in our way, and we do have so many different things to use, you know. Yes.
Yeah, for me, it's always been, because I've always been this way since a child, which we all are in the beginning, and a lot of people forget it for a while because at 4 you're told it's your imagination, pretend, you got to go to school. So everybody has 8. You're 2 angels, 6 spirits. Your crew steps back to let you root into being a human, because that's why we're here, expecting us to call them back in or remember them. Hello, we have amnesia. But mine never left me, and I'm very blessed for that because of things that happened when I was younger. But I was working with spirit once, and they said the dog is west. So I was working on it, and an hour later I heard the dog is east, and I'm like, what is happening? Am I getting this wrong? And I just couldn't understand it. Well, that's another thing I learned with this lady that was speaking about dowsing, is if they've been stolen or taken, they're on the move.
Yeah, they move quickly.
To move that quickly, an animal wouldn't change that quickly, but they're in a vehicle or something like that, or chasing or running from something at that moment. So I thought, okay, that I hadn't brought in. Spirit's just telling me the answers this way, that way. So ask more questions, Kathie. You know, is it on the move? It's almost like I have a list of things that I ask, that I pull at and I ask, and makes it easier. And when I get too involved or too busy, then thank you very much. I send them to you. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. As the ones in Montana, and yes, it's amazing. All of a sudden, once that one you sent, I mean, it's crazy because I was in the summertime, and how I guess maybe it was the energy, you know, of the planet and all of that, but things and people, and it was just like one right after another, you know, and gratefully they were all found and they were all reunited with their owners.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I think we go through spurts in time that, you know, the energy, right? And you're not going anywhere. He assists me as well, because, you know, Bailey's a highly intuitive being and soul. And, you know, all of our homes, a lot of times, I know for me, especially at Christmas, there's a lot of spirit traffic going on, and
Right.
he assists me with clearing it and all of that. So I am so grateful for him and to be on my path with me. But right, sweetie, he's like,
I
yeah,
just wanted to mention something about cats.
yes,
Cats are like, how do I say this? They're like crystals, and they bring in this protective energy and grounding
yes,
energy. And cats can see beyond the veil. That's why their eyes are like that. There is no veil. So if you have a cat that's yelling at something or growling, you're thinking, what a crazy cat. I'd rather say thank you. That cat just got rid of a dark spirit. Cats know
mhm.
darkness, and they do not like them around. They'll take care of you. I had a cat for 18 years. Oh, my heart cat. And she slept at my crown chakra every single night, protecting.
Wow, she's
When she
protecting.
crossed over, I was of course so very brokenhearted, but all of a sudden I felt her around my crown chakra. And for 1 second, I let myself believe that she was still there. But then I realized it was her spirit still there with me, protecting. So many times when your pet crosses,
Mhm.
spirit will stick around. And other things that is fun to share is that many times when you get a new pet, and it'll be acting like it's irritated, and it'll go to certain places like the other one did. That other one's there kind of telling it what to do, maybe sometimes bossing it around, cluing it in. Oh, lover.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know, sweetie.
Sometimes your animal recycles. But one
Yes.
thing I tell people is they always think it comes back as a puppy. Not always. Here's how it works, and I'm going to say it in human words instead of trying to describe how animals do this. Theirs is more telepathic and pictures. I use pictures a lot communicating with animals, like see what I want them to do, see that I feel bad when I don't. But it is working with them, and right, all right, spirit speaking here right now. He's turning his back on us right now. That's hilarious.
Right.
Working with these spirits, and that is with cats and them surrounding us and protecting us, and that, and us communicating with them. They've gone on a different subject. Spirits just coming in, and so I'm listening to see where they're taking me here for one
Okay.
moment. Okay, yes, thank you. So yeah, often the cats are getting rid of dark spirits, but we're going back there, say, to an animal coming back. Maybe a dog knows that you're going to get an inspiration that you have to go to the shelter today.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a kill shelter. And so you're looking for a puppy, but you keep seeing this dog that's over here that they're going to euthanize. No one's taking it. And the way it looks at you, the same way your dog did, or you have this weird feeling, you don't know why. Your dog has come to this dog and said, look, my guardian's coming here today to find me. Can I have
Mhm.
your, and in a human way of saying it, the dog will say yes, but if your human doesn't come, you have to go through with the execution. Sorry, that still bothers me.
Mm.
So they come in many different ways, don't always, and sometimes, yeah, like my cat was my horse.
Right. Yes. They come in different
And
forms, different
I
shapes,
remember
different
wanting a
animals.
horse and thinking, well, I don't have room. So this cat came back as only a 9-pound cat, a tiny little thing. It grew up to be a tiny little thing. And I thought, oh, because I didn't have room for something big. In my mind, I was thinking horse, but
Right.
so they do sometimes come back as a different animal, and
Yes. Yes.
animals from past lives can come back into lives with you as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
it's much broader than any of us think. So if you ever have that feeling after an animal crosses that you just have to go to the shelter and you don't know why you keep looking at this older dog, you'll never regret getting it. And it'll go home and
Mhm.
the bowl used to be, or go find a ball it had hidden. They'll always give you a sign that I am me, or jump up on the part of the bed that it always used to, or whatever it might be. They'll always give you some kind of a sign that I'm
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Because they're always with you. I mean, I was had a session with a woman who unfortunately tragically lost her dog, and it was just like, animals are already have predetermined their exit strategy. So,
Yeah,
it is time for them to go, because whatever it is that they were here to do, they're basically graduating, right? So they're moving on to the next realm and kind of graduate, but they're still with us. So, possibly if you have a young, a little baby, they may see the spirit, or, another dog may be playing with the dog, but they're always here in spirit, or you could see the imprint of them. Like you're saying, you could feel them around your head. I mean,
right.
they are with us,
They're
just,
always there.
and, and we can just talk to them, just ask, just ask, how is it that you going to appear to me, or how can you show up for me? Or, I mean, it is amazing that like we're so connected to them and the spirit realm that unfortunately we don't know, but it sometimes just ask, get very clear, and just sit in quiet and maybe in nature, wherever that is, so that you are, and have an open heart and just ask and see what you receive. Like, you may hear it, you may see things, you may feel things, you may smell them. There's all different ways of receiving their messages from them, knowing that they're here.
And you mentioned baby. That's a good one. If you get pregnant and have a dog, that dog knows there's a baby in you. Sometimes a dog will act jealous and stay away from you for a little bit. But then towards the end or in the beginning, that dog will just be right by you, always kind of by your stomach. I had a friend that was pregnant and didn't know she was. She just kept saying, I don't feel right. And her dog kept coming and laying his paw on her stomach.
Oh, right.
And
They know.
so she called me and said, why is my dog doing this? I said, it's protecting your baby. She goes, what? I didn't know that she was pregnant, you know? And so I said, well, you're pregnant. And the dog knows it. And she was freaking out and said, I'm not pregnant. 3 days later, she calls back and goes, I'm pregnant. And I go, oh, are you? you know, but they know. And then they'll usually be so incredibly protective of that spirit.
Right.
It has a contract. You're
Yes.
coming.
Right.
Sometimes at the beginning of the contract, it gets a little jealous, but it gets over it, like
Yeah.
because it's baby in that. But yeah, they're always around us. They're here to another thing that I wanted to share with people, because I know so many people, especially now, it seems, are having to let their dogs go or their cats
Mhm.
go. My daughter, for her first time in her adult life, has happened to put down her dog,
Oh,
and she's absolutely devastated. Of
of
course
course
she
she
is.
is. Yeah.
So what I reminded her is, I says, I asked Spirit once, why don't dogs live longer? And my spirit said, my guide, her name is Eileen, says, well, animals, dogs especially, come to teach you what a true
Mhm.
friend is, how to love unconditionally, and then they teach you how to let go.
Yeah.
And to love them unconditionally back, if they're not leaving their body before it becomes very uncomfortable in that, then you get to prove unconditional love to them by releasing them.
Correct.
Make it feel any better or easier, but at least it helps you understand that you're not doing, I mean, for me, to make a decision about someone's life being over is a very,
It's hard.
very intense and difficult thing,
Mhm.
easier because spirit's telling me to do it, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to put my mom in hospice, and my sister and I really talked a lot about it, and she's the one that's always cared for my mom, and spirit said it's time. And so we agreed to do it, knowing that from that point on, when you're in hospice, they do nothing to keep you alive anymore, just to help you cross comfortably. So
Right.
all
Right.
drugs to keep you alive are taken away. But the same with their animals, they'll let us know when it's time to go,
Yeah,
and
they do. They always do. And you can always ask too, like ask for a sign for them to tell you. I know that when I had my chocolate lab Haley, who, oh my goodness, was my first dog like 20 years ago, I guess. She was my baby. And, and I knew she was not doing well. And I was like, please just give me a sign, like maybe don't eat, because of course my dog
that's one
loved
of the
eating.
that's
Yeah,
one of
and then sure enough, we woke up one morning and she didn't eat. And oh my God, it was so devastating. But you don't want to keep them too long, and you don't want to really take them too short. So it's that fine line, but it's really being in touch with your animal. And when she didn't eat, I called them to come in to the home to be like, okay, it's time to release her soul. And, but it is devastating. And you have to process that grief, and you need to let all of those emotions flow through you so that you don't keep that energy stuck in you, because when we do keep energy stuck, it can manifest into like an ailment in our physical being. So we do need to learn how to process that. And unfortunately, society doesn't really teach us that, and the animals know it's a cycle of life. So they're okay with it. Like they're going on and they're getting graduating, and they will be in touch with us in the spirit realm. But
That's true. And many times animals, they're capable of it, will stay past their time because we're not letting go.
Right.
We think we're their guardians, but they know they're our guardians. And the whole time we're worried about them, they're worried about us.
Yes.
Like, oh,
Yes.
she's so sad. She says she can't lose me. She's begging me not to go. I'm so much in pain, but I love her so much. I'm going to stay. So the other part is finding a way
Mm-hmm.
to let them know you're ready to release them. Tell them,
Yeah.
I told my dog, it was so hard to put her down. I still get emotional after 3 years that I was going to be okay. I'm sad right now. I'm going to be sad, but you've got to come back and show me some signs. Let me know you're around me, but I will be okay. If you want me happy, then I need you to be okay.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's what it was. She just gave me the look. I knew what she was thinking because like we can communicate, but for
Yeah.
someone to have the sign, she looked at me and she was like, "I'd like to go," which
Yeah.
was devastating. I'm not going to lie, but then the right thing to do was let her go. And
Yeah.
I,
It is.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it is devastating. It is devastating, but they do let us know, and they do hang on for us because they're guardians of us, just as we think that we're guardians of them. They're assisting us so much more so in this earth plane than we are with them.
and they don't want us sad. And a lot of times,
No.
devastated afterwards, they do hang out by us and they'll give you a sign. Let's say, for instance, your dog always sleeps at the bottom of your bed on the left side. You may be in bed and suddenly, when somebody gets in bed, you can feel it. You can feel the
Right.
energy, you can feel the bed move a little. You're like, whoa, what was that? It jumped up on the bed, it's there in that exact spot that it always was in.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
a sudden, one of their balls that you didn't think, you thought that you put their toys away because you were sad, will show up in the middle of your floor.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it is amazing. Like I know I had a friend and client, and she had passed. Her dog had passed, and they leave the signs, and a lot of people know. Like you could maybe like my dad. Well, it's a dragonfly that seeing dragonfly for him, and you assisted me with that as well. But I know I had given a friend of mine who traveled to Italy. The dog was showing me like white feathers that were just coming down. And
Oh, yeah.
so, oh my goodness, it was amazing because all of a sudden, like she had her car detailed and there was a white feather. And she shows up to all these places and there's a white feather. And she's just like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Because you know that then your animal, the spirit is around you, is with you. And they
I
leave
always
it.
say, keep those and put them in a jar, put them together, keep them.
Yeah, yes. But they give us signs from all different ways. It could be a different animal being there. Like my dad, it's a dragonfly. So when I see a dragonfly, I know that his spirit and he's around all the time, I know. But and so it's all different kinds of signs that they give us. But as
Yeah.
a human, you can just ask, what sign, will you show up for me? And it
Right.
could be, a lot of it could be, some are ladybugs, some are butterflies, some are red cardinals, some are deer. I mean, it just depends.
And little white butterflies are often angels, and a message that your angels are with you, that you're
Yeah.
being watched over, that look at the light, pay attention to us, So I thought, well, they don't come in the winter, but there's others for that as well, you know. But if the problem is we've gotten so busy in our world and so stressed and rush, rush, rush,
Mhm.
this, got to do that, get back, do this, that we're not seeing the signs right in front of
Mhm.
we're not taking the time to be connected. And that, I mean, I'm always so busy, in my business helping others. And I've been working 7 days a week and I'm really setting boundaries now, taking weekends off and not working nights, and I'm still facilitating people. But I'm also realized that in order to serve others, I have to serve myself. Like those oxygen masks in the airplane, put yours on first so you can serve others. So I have made
Right.
my year of self-care. And
Yes.
my guide said, well, you're right on target. It should be everybody's year of self-care.
Yes.
We're renewing ourselves. It's like we're losing the old
Hmm.
skin's coming on. What do we want this new skin? Do we want it like the old skin that was stressed and yucky? Or do we want this new relaxed skin? So I'm in the learning curve myself of this, but of making time for myself every day to do something kind for myself. And
Yes.
so even buying, like I got a foot detox machine for myself. I was going to take it into my business. I thought, no, this stays home with me.
Oh, right. Yeah. Those are great. That's amazing. Those are amazing. I mean,
I
I'm learning the same thing because my nervous system has been shot because I just take too much on. It's like, oh my
exactly.
goodness, there's so much to learn and so much to know, and you just want to do things and so my nervous system has been shot, and it's like you get tapped out, and then all of a sudden, then what? It's like you saying about putting the oxygen mask on, So I am learning how to like decompress, to rest, to really do things for me so that I don't cause some, physical ailment in my body down the road. That when your nervous system is too overtapped and stressed out, it will. So it is taking care of ourselves, and yes, the self-love and the self-care and self-nourishing.
Leave
And like with,
ourselves.
yeah. And like Bailey, I know like he assists me in being very present because as you were saying earlier, right?
She's talking about me again. I
Of
heard that loud
course.
here.
There she goes again. But it's kind of like you were saying, as we're running around all the time, we're not being present. So we're not like in our bodies being grounded, but we're not being present. And I know Bailey and all of our animals, they assist us in doing that. You
They
know,
do.
they really help us being present and
They do.
stop for the moment and be like, okay, let's get out of our head and start laughing or bring joy, whatever it is that they do.
Enjoy.
Yes.
One
And
thing I'd like to
laughing.
add to that, which really is one that we'd have in our psychic talk that we'll have on one of our next ones, but just for now, just because people need it, is Spirit is always telling everyone in readings when I do psychic readings for people, is every morning when you wake up, before you open your eyes, because that's when you're the most connected to them. Opening your eyes is a thought. When you open your eyes back in the human dimension, and when you do that, command to be put in an orb of protection.
Mm.
All that is of light allowed in, all else return to sender. I put my animals in it, my husband, my children, my home. That way, a lot of the negative bombardment that's out there right now is more negative than I've ever seen in my entire life. We're more divided than I've ever seen. That's not what we're meant to be. And if I speak to the women just for 1 minute, we're supposed to be the leaders right now. We're supposed to give them a break, let them take, they've been doing it a long time. It's time for the matriarchs step forward. The problem is the old patriarchs do not want to let go of their little powers. And so what can we do? Let's take away their right to have abortion. Let's take away birth control. If you saw the list, you'd be terrified. There's nothing more powerful than a group of women standing for a cause.
Yeah.
Stand in your power, women. Hold your head. If you believe in a higher power, let's call it goddess, then you're the daughter of a goddess. That makes you a demi-goddess. You need to act like one. You need to stand in power, stand up for each other. We got to quit this catty mean stuff with each other. We have got to step forward into this world. And so that orb is going to be very important for everyone, but for our gentlemen and our men as well. Orb yourselves, and you'll get where you'll start to feel the energy of it, which is so exciting. And you'll feel when it's being bombarded. And you can say out loud, if you're alone or in your mind, I command to have my orb strengthened, because there's so much negativity just bouncing on and off of it. And I do it in the morning and night now because of all the negativity out there. But I truly believe that we're coming into the light, and more of us, more people are seeking information like this. More people are getting interested in things like crystals or whatever, the native ways. My only suggestion on that is, if you truly want to learn the native ways and you really want to respect it because they're the closest to the earth there is, then learn it from a native, not to be rude to anyone, but learn the proper way, not somebody running around saging you saying, oh, I'm a spiritual being and da, da, da. Most respectfully to everybody. But I'm just saying, if you go to Scotland, do as the Scots. Well, if you're doing something, do it, because when you learn from someone properly and you're doing it but respect, because it's really all about respect in the communities there, then you're going to facilitate and help the earth.
Right. Yes. Oh, completely. I keep on that, excuse me, but I keep back on that note. I keep asking for me to bring in a Native American, like a grandfather or someone that really has that wisdom that has been brought down from generation to generation. Because where I am, I'm right near the Cherokee, which is Cherokee Reservation. Yes, because to learn that wisdom is amazing, and you can't. That's only brought down by word of mouth, right? You can't read it in a book, or you don't teach. Yes, it's amazing.
They're starting to lose that even because we're drawing their youth more into all this. But yeah, they're so connected to. And to really get through what we're going to go through here in the future, we need to be connected to Earth.
Yes.
We also, and this is no like end of the earth thing or anything, but survival techniques are a good thing to know. Just if I'm lost in the woods where I live, what are the berries or roots or things to live off of? It's not harmful to know these things. It's not harmful to prepared for if the grid went down, or just for an example, not to say it's happening, but like during COVID, nobody was prepared for everything that we went through with that, even on food. And one day there's toilet paper at the grocery store, the next day there's not. So those things were cracking me up a little bit. Like, I wonder how many people to have tons of toilet paper and hand sanitizer left over,
Right. But then
But
that also does create like an over scarcity. So that's a fear tactic. So it's kind of like you
it
need
is.
to make sure that you stay and that you know that you're always going to be protected and you're divinely
Yeah.
protected and guided. So like all that fear, which a lot of that is that you need to just take that out of your field and just know and have the trust and the faith that you
You're
are
taken care of.
divinely protected.
Because as a man thinketh, so shall it be. We're manifestors on this planet. Whatever you think, good or bad,
Right.
will be facilitated with. So never
Yeah.
have a negative thought, only have a positive thought. And I know that we're giving you all kinds of information, everyone out there, from dogs to spirit to that. But this is just kind of we're giving you a taste your plate of the coming attractions.
Right.
We?
Yes, because there's so many areas, so many topics, so many places that we're going to start moving forward with and just discussing. So yes.
And
Yeah.
if you want, we could each give our websites or
Yes.
email.
Yeah. Where can they find you in the future? Like where, if you'd like an appointment or session or just a chat with Kathie or whatever that is, where is it that they're able to find you?
Right. And our goal is at some point do a live one where there'll be question and answer at the end.
Yeah. So you're at sacredmessages.com is your website?
Sacredmessagesjh.com.
Okay. And I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, which is Nina Roberti. And my website is Nina Roberti for any, animal communication or do the same thing, intuitive. I have learned from Kathie, so I am honored and grateful that she is here discussing, and then we're going to be moving forward, talking about various subjects in the spiritual realm or what it is that we need to do to ascend or to evolve and to move forward in life. So I'm grateful for that. But I will be posting all of my information and Kathie's information on the YouTube channel for this video. And if you have any comments or any topics you'd like us to discuss or to go delve deeper into, please just leave a comment and let us know. And then we will be able to discuss that on a future podcast that we have.
Perfect.
So, okay.
One of the things I want to bring forward that we'll do in the future is personal grids, how to make your very own grid. It's so exciting. And we'll give a heads up before that because there's materials that you'll need to do it if you want to do it as we speak or listening and then go take care of it on your own. Indeed.
Yeah, there's so many things that we can do. So Kathie, this has been wonderful. And I'm grateful. So I look forward to our next one. And everyone out there for listening, have a beautiful day. As I say, get into nature. And any words?
Manifest a beautiful day because you're the boss of it. Yes. If you think it's going to be a rotten day, it shall. If you think it's a glorious day, even it didn't start out that way, then it will become a glorious day. So I wish you all nothing but love and respect for yourselves and each other. And looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Nina, so much.
Thank you.